what is the worst prank that you receive on set, by whom, and did you reply to it?
Yes. The worst... it's hard for me to talk about these traumatic experiences. There were so many. Jared and I were engaged in a prank war for many years. And then at a certain point, it started to feel like, oh, this could actually become a bad idea. Jared, let's see. I mean, the worst pranks happened when I was directing an episode. But I've told that story many times, so I'm not going to tell it again. But Jared pied me in the face. You know what that means? Yeah. And it was a whipped cream pie, and the whipped cream went up into my nostrils and like into my brain. And I was kind of half blinded by this whipped cream in my eyes for the rest of the day. And it was quite terrible. And Jensen was like, oh, I'm sorry, Misha. And now I was covered in whipped cream and I didn't have a change of clothes. And Jensen was like, I've got a t-shirt in my trailer, hold on. And he brought me a t-shirt and I switched and now at least I had a clean t-shirt. And then a few minutes later, we were walking to go get lunch and Jensen said, hey, Misha, and I turned around and he pied me in the face. So I really felt like there was no one I could trust. So that was bad, but then Jared and I got into this thing where we were sort of just pranking each other at every opportunity. And there was this one day where we were shooting on location downtown in Vancouver, and I noticed that Jared had parked his car by our trailers. So I parked my car just about 3 inches from the driver's side of his car so that he couldn't get in the driver's side door when he when he wanted to go home. But Jared, the way it works when we're filming on location, you want to take a break? Yeah, it's like this story goes on forever. Okay. Thank you. I'm very impressed. Okay, so the way it works when you're filming on location is they have our trailers, which is like where we hang out when we have a lot of time off between scenes or something, and then they'll drive us to the location. It's often like a mile away or something. A kilometer and a half away. And so we were going back and forth from our trailers to set that day, and I parked right next to Jared's car, and then I went to set and I came back and I noticed that all of my tires were flat. And Jared had taken the air out of all of my tires. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe he did that. So I got my tires pumped back up again. And then I called a tow truck company. You know what that is? And to have Jared's car towed away. And unfortunately, Jared came back from set just as they were hooking the tow truck up to his car. And he was like, what are you doing? And they were like, we're towing this car. It's parked here illegally. And he's like, no, it's not parked illegally, that's my car. And then Jared, so then the tow truck driver left, and then Jared was thinking, maybe I'll just drive my truck into Misha's car. And luckily, I came back to set right before he just destroyed my car. He's like, I'm rich, I can afford it. I'll just destroy Misha's car. So we got into these kind of escalations that they became kind of dangerous. And I think both of us at some point realized that one of us was going to wind up dead eventually. So we more or less stopped pranking each other.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Donc, qu'est-ce qui se rappelle de la plus grande blague, on va dire, qui s'est passée? J'ai dit qu'il n'aime pas trop en parler parce que c'est difficile, c'est beaucoup d'événements traumatiques qu'il a vécu. Il faut savoir que lui et Jared étaient vraiment dans une guerre de blagues, comme il l'a expliqué, et il s'est rendu compte vraiment que ça allait devenir une très mauvaise idée si on continuait. Donc vous avez tous vu l'épisode où c'était lui du coup qui était derrière la caméra. Et du coup, Jared bien sûr a une idée pour l'encourager de prendre, vous savez, ses fonds de tarte plein de crème et de lui foutre dans la tronche, littéralement, sous tous ses vêtements. Et du coup, il n'avait pas de change. Du coup, ce qu'il a fait, c'est que Jensen lui a dit t'inquiète pas, j'ai un t-shirt, je vais te le donner, comme ça tu pourras le changer. Jensen donc a très gentiment donné un nouveau t-shirt. Tout ça pour au final, quelques heures après, lui mettre lui aussi une tarte dans la tronche, à la crème toujours, pas une barre. Donc voilà, il s'est senti très encouragé et très soutenu par ses collègues. Et donc il y a une fois où vraiment ça commence à devenir un peu trop. Savoir que quand ils sont sur des scènes à l'extérieur de là où ils sont actuellement, leurs trailers sont un peu plus loin que là où ils sont sur le tournage. Et donc il y avait la voiture de Jared et il s'est dit je vais me garer vraiment collé pour que Jared puisse pas rentrer dans sa voiture. Il fait n'importe quoi, comme d'habitude. Moi, c'est habitué, hein, je vous le dis. Ceux qui ne savent pas, vous allez vite comprendre. Bien sûr, du coup, Jared, pour se venger, a vidé l'air des pneus de Misha. Misha les a regonflés. Pour se venger, a appelé la dépanneuse pour faire virer la voiture de Jared, qui est arrivée au moment pour dire qu'est-ce que vous faites, c'est ma voiture. Et donc, pour se venger, il s'est dit la dernière étape, ce serait de foncer dans la voiture de Misha avec ma voiture. En se disant, je suis riche, je m'en fiche. Sauf que Michel a dit non, donc il est arrivé, il a arrêté. Et donc c'est là qu'ils se sont rendus compte que peut-être que s'ils continuaient, ça allait devenir un peu trop. Et ils ont dit, à moins qu'on s'arrête, il y en a un qui va finir mort. Donc voilà, on s'arrête. Maintenant, faut qu'ils reviennent.
First of all, I love you. How was it to play again with Jensen and Jared in The Boys?
It's always fun to play with Jensen and Jared. Hi, Susan. Suzanne, I'm sorry, I just said your name. I'm tired, I'm jet lagged. Forgive me. It was great. We had an episode. Has everybody seen the Boys episode where? Who hasn't seen The Boys?
Qui n'a jamais vu The Boys?
Oh my God! Come on, people! You got to get on it. It's a little gruesome. It's a little. You haven't seen The Boys? You have seen, but you haven't seen The Boys. No, you haven't seen it. You would. I think you would like it. Well, do you like pornography? Because if you do, I think you'd love The Boys. I remember I had lunch. This was like maybe four or 5 years ago. I had lunch with Phil Segresha, who's a producer-director of Supernatural, and he's also a producer-director on The Boys. And I was in Toronto for some reason, and so we had brunch together. And he was like, working on The Boys is great. Like, we get to do so many things that we couldn't do on Supernatural because it was network television. And now there's no censorship, and we can do whatever Eric thinks of. Like, for example, today I'm shooting a porn. And I was like, oh, really? And I hadn't seen The Boys yet, so I didn't know what he was talking about. And then I was like, oh, you really did shoot a porn. And do you guys know this? The episode Herogasm?
Yeah.
Do you know that they hired real porn stars? Those were real porn actors that they hired for that episode? And they were actually shooting. They were actually... Translate for me.
Thank you. Génial. Donc, ça nous faisait quoi du coup de retrouver les garçons sur The Boys. Donc c'était forcément très fun. Il se rappelle d'un déjeuner qu'il avait eu à Toronto avec Phil, donc qui est producteur area des deux séries, donc de Supernatural et de The Boys. Et donc voilà, il parlait un petit peu. Et ce qui est bien avec cette série, c'est qu'on peut faire plein de choses qu'on ne peut pas faire sur SPN parce qu'il y avait justement la chaîne qui mettait des limites, si vous voulez. Là, il n'y a pas de censure, je fais ce que je veux. Et là, il disait, par exemple, aujourd'hui, je vais tourner un porno, clairement. Et il dit, ok, il n'avait pas encore vu la série, donc il était un peu choqué. Et quand il l'a vu, il dit, ah oui, effectivement, t'as clairement tourné un porno. Et du coup, dans l'épisode qui s'appelle, du coup, Herogasm, je sais pas comment on l'a traduit en français, ils ont vraiment pris des vrais acteurs de porno pour faire cette scène. Et donc, comme il essayait de vous le dire sans vous le dire avant, ils étaient vraiment en train de faire leur métier, quoi.
Thank you.
Thank you, Misha.